Joey here. So as you know, I love recording backing tracks on my Digitech Trio. One of my hobbies. Really get a lot of enjoyment out of that. So the Trio is fantastic for doing that sort of stuff, creating backing tracks for whole songs because of the song parts function. But it's also a really good tool for using as a songwriting aid. Really develop ideas with it. Because of its unpredictable nature, it can take you down routes you never imagined you'd be going down. So every now and then, when I'm in a song, music writing type of mood, I don't mind sort of putting stuff into the Trio and see what comes out. Let me give you a couple of examples. In fact, just to begin with, about 4 or 5 months ago, the well-known guitar YouTuber Paul Davids had a looper challenge. He invited other musician friends to work out some loops on various chords he listed, and that, by the way, they all did an absolutely fantastic job. They're all very, very talented musicians, and I had a bit of a go using the Trio, and I wanted to do something slightly different. And what I did was use a 3/4 time on the metal setting, and actually, let's have a listen to what I ended up with. As you can see, it's got quite a unique sound. So that's sort of an example of ended up somewhere I never would have ended up on my own at all. Never would have. And then not only was it, I ended up changing it from a 3/4 to a 9/8 time, as in doing 3 sets of 3/4 bars for each chord change, if that makes sense, and that gives it a really unique and interesting sound, I think. I then pass it on to Will. So I've just done this. Will doesn't know I've done this. I've passed it on to Will, my bass musician friend from Melbourne. We do a few collaborations and muck around a bit with music. I said to Will, have a go at this, and then he's come up with something really, really good. So that's something we're working on that I think might end up somewhere interesting. Now here's another example I just did the other day. This is just a single chord. Put it in. I've used a different 3/4 setting. I can't remember which one in the Digitech. We'll have a listen to it. And once again, it's taking me somewhere different that I never would have considered. Once again, it's a 3/4 time, and I'm just going to sort of park that somewhere. I've got no idea what I'm going to do with it. It could be used as an intro or an outro, as a bridge, or like an interlude, joining 2 different parts of a song, or it could be the sort of thing where it's sort of a key change and takes you down a different road before you return to the normal key of the song. It's sort of thing I can imagine being used in a number of places. So there's that example. Now, so I thought, why don't we have a go at doing something live, just as an example. So this is what I thought. I'm going to, the last video I did was another go at Ain't Misbehaving, the jazz standard. Let's pinch a few chords out of there, and I'm going to put the setting on the Trio on Latin, right? And I'm going to make it a 3/4 time. So I'm going to choose one of the Latin 3/4 settings, and I'm going to choose 4 chords that normally are just 2 beats each in where I've pinched them from. We're going to make them a chord per 3/4 bar, and that sort of changes the feel of it entirely. So it's going to sound something like this. So that's a C7, C sharp diminished, D minor 7, back to a G7 over D. I want to have a little bass run that hopefully I'll be able to coax the trio into doing something interesting there. So the little bass run will go on the G7 over D will be, and then that's basically a G over B. So I've got this little bass run over the three notes of the 3/4 time, and that's pretty much it. And then we'll add a few flourishes on there, and let's see what we come up with. Once again, we're relying on the unpredictability of the trio to maybe get something half interesting. Who knows? But that's the fun bit. So just give me a minute to set up, and let's have a look. Okay, back again. I've got my Digitech Trio set up. We're on Latin. I've chosen a 3/4 time. So that's just. So the first thing I must do is train the trio to learn my 4-bar arrangement there. So it gives me drums and bass, and then we'll try looping a bit of stuff over it. And the thinking here is that the trio will give me back something that forces me down a certain road to play something or come up with something different. Now that's essentially the idea. Okay. To run with that. So now we do the looping in 2 bits. The first time you do the looper, it forces you to do exactly the 4 bars and stops, and then you can do overdubs over that initial loop you've done. Once again, if that makes sense. So what I normally do is I'll get that playing. By the way, I'm only using the video mic for the moment. I've got the bass and drums going through a bass amp to my right, and the guitar going through a guitar amp to my left here. And not sure how the video mic will cope with that. At the very end of this all, I'll try and dump it all into Cubase, and hopefully I'll have something half decent to listen to. Okay, so that's the first bit of the looping done. So now we're at a stage where I can keep that going. Try and loop other things. Just something simple. So the loops turn over again. Let me get some high little fiddly bits in there. Okay, now that we've reached this, and look, it doesn't sound, I'll be honest, it doesn't sound great. It's definitely not a #1 hit. But is it worth persevering with? Yes, I am going to persevere with it. What I'm going to do next is dump this into Cubase, as is, and then work out a couple of little instrumentals and leads over the top of it. And, well, let's see what we get. Once again, that's a fun bit. So I'm going to sign off now, and the next bit you see will be whatever I finally came up with in Cubase over the next hour or so. Okay, thanks for watching.